I don't think you'd find a better divisional round than we just witnessed over the weekend. And to cap it, Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, they were able to do it. They put the exclamation point on this weekend. On to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs win, Chris Clark from Locked On Chiefs. Chris, some people are saying Mahomes, Josh Allen, they're going to be the new Manning-Brady rivalry, but I don't remember Manning or Brady putting on a show like the 42-36 overtime thriller that we watched.
25 points in the last minute and a half. Just absolutely insane game. And you watch that and it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And to be fair, and I'm trying to take nothing away from the Bills. Kansas City should put this game away earlier. A missed extra point, a missed field goal. You don't expect that from a guy that deserves to go to the Pro Bowl, but probably never will as long as Justin Tucker's in the NFL. But at this point, Harrison Butker got the job done when he needed to the most at the end of regulation, and Kansas City wins the game.
Yeah, just it's tough to kind of summarize how many big moments there were in this football game, especially as you mentioned down the stretch. But Patrick Mahomes matches Josh Allen with 4 total touchdowns. Where does his performance rank in his already incredible young resume of incredible performances?
I think it's way up there, but at the same time, one of my friends, Terez Paylor, who's passed away last year, and we all miss him. One of his comments about Patrick Mahomes is when he gets in the playoffs, he has these moments of it's just over my dead body, and that's exactly what this game felt like to me. And it feels like that just about every single time he steps on the football field in the playoffs. And yes, he lost the Super Bowl, but if you go back and watch that game against Tampa Bay, he did things that I've never seen a quarterback do. He threw the ball when he was perpendicular. It's just you have to beat him, and he is probably the best player in the NFL.
84 points from this offense through 2 games this postseason. The defense, concern or the fact that KC isn't facing Josh Allen again, should they just play better next week anyway?
I think if you look at who they're going to be playing next week, the bigger question to me is Tyrann Mathieu going to play? He went out in the first drive in this game, and he is a huge piece of this defense. And then you look at playing against Josh Allen, who is a phenomenal quarterback. I'll give him all the credit in the world. He played fantastic tonight. And you're playing against one of the best offenses in the NFL. You're going to be doing that against Cincinnati again. But the difference is Cincinnati's offensive line can't block anybody. And I think that's really going to play into things next week. I expect Chris Jones to have a big game, Jaron Reed, Melvin Ingram, and Frank Clark all to have big games next week.
Last question for our guest here, Chris Clark from Locked On Chiefs. And I really recommend checking out Locked On Chiefs today on YouTube or wherever you find podcasts, free across all platforms. A rematch, as you mentioned, of another thrilling game from earlier this season. The Bengals rallied past the Chiefs in that game. They had a walk-off field goal in regulation. What do you remember Cincy being able to do to pull off that victory?
I think a lot of it was, Jamar Chase came to play. He had a fantastic game that game. He just took over. I hate being the guy that calls out the refs, but the refereeing in that game was just absolutely atrocious, and it cost Kansas City multiple times where they had a stop on 3rd or 4th down, and there's a penalty that's called that extends a drive for Cincinnati. And you just can't, when you're playing a game like this and you're playing an offense like that, you can't give them extra chances. And I think that's really what's that's going to come down to. So the question going into this game is going to be how healthy is Kansas City's defense? If they're healthy, I like the matchups that they're going to have. They're going to be hosting in Arrowhead. They're playing at home. They're hosting the 4th straight AFC Championship game. They are very comfortable in their home arena, home field.
Yeah, recapping it today on Locked On Chiefs. You got to check it out. An insane performance by both the Bills and the Chiefs. Chiefs don't give Josh Allen another chance in overtime. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce put it away. Listen to that podcast today. And, of course, the podcast leading you up to the AFC Championship game between the Bengals and Chiefs. Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it, Bo.